What is up, guys? It's Effie, and today I'm gonna tell you guys a little story. I'd say it's almost unbelievable what happened. Nevertheless, it did happen. This actually happened to me this past weekend from when this video airs. Please don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoy my videos. Every Thursday I'm gonna have a new video. So without further ado, let's get right into it. I got up in the morning and I was supposed to be getting ready for a birthday party. I was running a little late, so I got up pretty late and I went to my bathroom to get ready. I was getting dressed, and the walls here are really thin in my apartment to where you can hear just about anything. Anything. When I say anything, I mean anything and everything. But anyway, I was getting dressed, and like I said, these walls are very thin, so I could hear someone say, "Call 911. This girl said that she'd been kidnapped. And so I'm thinking, what is going on in my apartment right now? It's a weekend, I'm not expecting anything like this, I for sure heard the call 911 part, but the whole kidnap part just kind of shook me, like, wait a minute, really? Like, no, there's no way, because it was really hot outside, so I assumed someone needed to call 911 because someone was maybe having a heat stroke. Because at the time, one of my roommates was moving out, like moving their things out. And we live on the top floor, it's hot, you're carrying heavy stuff up and down, so I figured it was that. So I quickly put something on, and I run out into my apartment. I run out there expecting, like heat stroke or something like that. Someone is going through something like that. And then I walk and I see this girl. I'd never seen her before in my life. She was sitting on the floor crying to herself. And so that's when I thought, oh crap. The kidnap part. That really happened, didn't it? But I'm still, in a state of shock. So I see this girl, she's just bawling her eyes out, crying, and it gets repeated again. This girl said that she had been kidnapped, like held captive in her own apartment for the past couple days. And so immediately, the cops are called, and we're all a little shaken. So one of my roommates is currently barricading the door with her body. The door is locked to make sure no one comes in or out. My other roommate was on the line with 911, called them and got them here, And I'm sitting here trying to comfort this girl along with my roommate's mom. And so mostly it's my roommate's mom and her talking just to try and figure out what happened. And as I said before, this girl said she'd been kidnapped, she'd been held captive in her own apartment for the past couple days. And so we're trying to figure out how did this happen, and how she escaped and such. And she said she escaped by running out and jumping from the top balcony. May I remind you that we live on the top floor, and it's a very, very long way down there. But she said she saw an opening and she ran and she tried to jump from the balcony, but the person who was holding her captive took her arm, grabbed her at the last second. So she's hanging off this balcony. She's begging them, please let me go, just let me go. And they do, and they let her drop 3 stories high. And she says she fell into the bushes, and she went and ran into the first person she could find, which happened to be my roommate's dad, who was helping his daughter move out. My roommate's dad brought her up here, and that's where we were. Everyone in the room, it's a very tense atmosphere. Everyone's subtly shaking because of what's going on. We can barely believe that this is happening in front of our own eyes. And so more and more details are slowly coming out. We're not trying to interrogate her because we don't know what to do in this situation, but some things start to not add up. We ask her where do you live, what apartment are you from, and she says she didn't want to say. And then we asked her what did the person look like, and she said she didn't want to say. At the time, I was like, maybe she's in a state of shock that she actually survived, that she actually came out with her life, that she actually made it through this, 3 stories high. I'm surprised she didn't break anything, but then thinking now, I'm like, maybe it was the adrenaline. You don't really think about it at that time, you just want to get out, get help, And so we're, trying to talk to her, and her family lives a couple towns over, so they're an hour away. And so now we're just waiting for the police to arrive. And so we're waiting, and then eventually the police arrive, and this whole situation just gets sketchy from that point on. The cop arrives. It's one person, one guy. He strolls up to the girl and he asks so nonchalantly, he's like, what seems to be the problem? And I swear you could hear a pin drop because we're all practically traumatized that this is actually happening. The cop's just like, what seems to be the problem? I know they told you, on your radio or whatever, what's going on. I understand that you have to be calm in a situation, like level-headed, but he wasn't showing any like sympathy at all. He was just like, why don't you step outside with me? Do you have any shoes? She was wearing socks when she came up, and she was kind of dirty and such because, you know, she fell from the 3rd floor and it's just a dirt bed down there. So, I mean, it's not much of a landing, and I doubt she was thinking about shoes at the time when she got out. He's like, alright, you know, come outside, step outside, talk with me. She seems like she's calmed down a little bit. She seems safer. She leaves with him, and we never see either of them again. You know, it's kind of unsettling because, you know, I'm kind of expecting this police officer to tell us, you know, the situation. And the reason I say that is because the police officer told my roommate's dad, as they were walking out together, that they've been dealing with this girl for the past couple of days. And I have absolutely no idea what that means. I don't know if that means they'd gotten multiple calls about her, if there was some sort of maybe mental thing going on, if this is drugs, if it was actually real. All I know is that something is going on with her, and I hope that she's okay, and I hope she gets through this okay, and that she gets help, whatever it may be that she needs. But it's just unsettling that all of us just experienced that, and we have absolutely no answers. Like, what do you mean you've been dealing with her? Like, was this situation even real? You know, is there someone going around in a complex full of students that are holding people captive? Thought I'd just share this little story time with you guys about how my past weekend went. Like, I was supposed to be going to a birthday party, and right before something like that happens, I don't think anyone would ever expect something like that to happen. Like I said, I hope she's okay, and I hope everything's working out. And if this was, you know, a legitimate situation, I hope that they got the person who did that to her. I hope you guys enjoyed this story time. I know it's a little bit more on the serious side, but please don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this. And I will see you guys next Thursday for a new video. Bye.